which of these squares do you prefer to spend more time at? In this square? Or in this square? Which street would you prefer to have in front of your house? This street? Or this street? And what kind of apartment house would you prefer to live at, if you could choose? This apartment house? Or this one? Now, please raise your hand if you selected these 3 places. Okay, thank you. Most of the people do. And it's not just about the greenery. You will see that there's much more to sustainability of buildings and architecture. Now, all of these places are examples of top-notch, world-class architecture from Vienna, from Barcelona, and from Brno. This one is Moravské Square, designed by Consequence Forma architects in Brno. It is an absolutely amazing place. There's blue-green infrastructure, there's water fountain, people love to spend their time at it. It has become a meeting space for the whole of Brno. And it is amazing. But it also took 7 years from the start of the architectural competition until the opening of the square, and it cost 150 million Czech crowns. Now, raise your hand if you have 7 years and 150 million Czech crowns to improve the space around your house. Just kidding, no. Of course, we don't have these many resources, not the time, not the money. And I don't want to talk today about this. Architecture is amazing, but it takes a lot of effort and money. But rather, I would like to show you ordinary buildings and normal people who did something that changed the way their building looks like or the place around their building looks like. So I will take you to 3 buildings. I will take you for a walk, and we can see what did they do and how did they actually achieve it. So first, we are in a housing real estate in Prague, and this is a normal apartment house and a normal front garden with a few bushes and some grass, and nobody would even notice this place, right? And then there was Jana. Jana lives in this apartment house, and she is also a landscape architect. So she thought, okay, now that I can actually improve spaces around, I could probably do something about the front garden in front of our apartment house. And she did this. So this relatively small transformation goes from bushes to trees in front of the house, which will actually then function as shading. They will also cool the place in summer. And you can also see a lot of flowers and a lot of edible plants. So this whole new little ecosystem is supporting biodiversity, but it's also helping people to feel better in the space. And as you can see, also some people, especially children, they love it. This is my son, I took him there. I did not expect him to pose for me, but he just loved it. So he was looking at the insects which are flying around the flowers. And it's not just him. Here you can see a completely random kid and a completely random mom doing the same thing. And we could say this is just a very small transformation. It was very green before, now it's much greener. But I believe that the change is much more than the change of plants. This just changed the whole ecosystem of the nature, and now you feel much better in this space. So that was Jana. Thank you, Jana, for taking the first step. And this is what Jana did. She is a landscape architect. She used her strength to design how this should look like, and the first step that she did, she talked to the other people living in the same apartment house. And when she presented the idea, they were hooked up and they said, okay. So the whole owners association said that they are going to invest in it, and they did. And now we have this beautiful space. Then we have another story, and this one will be personal because it's the apartment house where me and my family live. This is a space for much attention for me. And this is the place where we have the garbage cans. Looks like that. There's a lot of stuff, garbage around it. And when it rains, this hole gets just really wet and muddy. So I thought that it could be changed. I took the first step, wrote an email, and after 3 years, it looks like this. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that sometimes even when you take the first step, it just doesn't have to come up as you want it. So it's worse, it's muddier, as you can see, and the municipality just did not think there's something to do, that it's necessary to do something. But I promised you to show something nice, so as I promised, now we are going to see the apartment house where we live. This is a normal house, so there's so many around in our neighborhood. And this is how our apartment house looks like. And there's not much difference, right? At the first glance, it's like, these houses look the same, but I will show you what's different. So at first, about 15 years ago, the housing association, the leaders of the owners association decided that they will insulate the house and change the windows. This is why the house looks nicer, and also it consumes much less energy for heating. And this was the biggest step that they did, the biggest investment. 10 years after, they decided that we could install balconies. So here behind the trees, you can see the balconies. And this is how they improved the quality of life for all of us who live there. And the third thing that is different is the external shading you can see on the windows. So the external shading was installed just last year, and it completely changed how we can live in the flats in summer. So right now, when we had 35 degrees outside, there was 25 degrees inside our apartment. 10 degrees less. And that's because we just installed the external shading, which doesn't seem like a huge difference, but it makes it so. Also, in front of the house, we have this cherry tree. Now, it's now pretty big. It's also shading our balcony and our flat. And this one was planted around 50 or 60 years ago by somebody I don't even know. But he or she was the first one who took the first step and planted the tree. And now we can have a neighbor celebration under the tree. This is what I did, just a very small thing. I just asked the neighbors to come, and we do it regularly, like twice a year. We just meet there, we discuss things, we have a nice time. And it's not much. I'm not standing here just because I did this celebration, but because this thing is creating the ecosystem of neighbors, the social ecosystem. And only by having all the neighbors who can each do something, we can then improve the building and the spaces around. So now we are moving to the third and last building, and we are moving to Slany, which is a small town in Czechia. And there is just this ordinary panel block of flats. 1/3 of people live in panel block of flats in Czechia, so I suppose many of you can identify. And in this panel block of flats, during the energy crisis, the prices of heating came up so much because it was heated from a local gas heating plant, centralized heating. So they could not do anything, they could just accept the prices, which were like 3 times higher or more. And they decided they did not want to. They decided they will do something else. And they agreed as the housing association. And now they have heating pumps on the rooftop, and they have photovoltaic panels. And that means they are now completely sustainable in heating, partially sustainable in electricity production, and the control over the prices is completely for them. And very often I hear, in our housing association, it's just impossible that the people agree, it's just so hard. But here, I just show you 3 examples of housing associations which could agree on something. They did, and it has the results. I'm not lying, this one is more expensive, it is like 2 or 3 million investment, but then it will pay back in a few years when you start heating. And they are very happy with the system. So now, you saw that it's possible, that you can actually do something. If you want to have your space, your building, or the space around it better and nicer, you can do something about it. You can just take the first step. This is an example of a place that needs to be improved. And David, my mentor, who is sitting here in the first row, just sent it to me. And he was like, what is the first step that I can make? And there's not one simple step that I could advise to anybody, because it depends very much on your strengths and on your time and on your capacities. If you even have time and energy to do something, because chances are in the audience here, most of you probably do something. Most of you probably are very active. So I don't think that all of us have to be active in changing places. But if you want, you can take the first step. So what could David do? He could go there and he could just pick up the leftover trash every day, if he has time for it. I suppose he doesn't. So what could he do? He could just write an email to the city company telling them that they should probably take out the trash more often. Which is something which is doable, and it only takes about 15 minutes time. Or David could organize a workshop with the neighbors, and they could build some construction around this place so we cannot see that there's so much trash going on. And David can choose, as you can do. So now I would like for you to just take a few seconds and imagine if there is any space in your building where you live. If it's an apartment house, if it's a family house, there's probably something that you would like to be more sustainable and nicer. And please just imagine, what could it look like? You have it. And now, imagine what could be the first step. The first step should be so simple that you can just make it today, meaning sending an email, talking to your neighbor, talking to your family, or you can do it tomorrow. You can go and pick up the trash. So if you have the first step in your mind, you can then change the places. So please remember, you have the power to change the places too. Just take the first step. Thank you.